What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. I have an awesome video for you guys today, and I hope, as usual, that you guys are killing it out there, making good money. I'm going to show you today how I've made even more. Okay, so this video is a little bit different, but it ties into everything I believe about Uber and Lyft, how you should be driving, the right ways to do it. And what I'm gonna stem this into is how I actually can make a six-figure income by ride sharing, all right? So the very first thing I'm gonna get into is just in general, if you're doing Uber and Lyft, there is just not a reason in the world that you don't use this to pursue something else. No harm or foul towards, my full-time drivers that just love doing it. If you're happy, great. I was a full-time driver at one point, and I didn't feel like the money was all the way there, so I realized I had to have something else to leverage. So I was thinking about how I've got all these people in my car every single day, and it is a very rare networking opportunity. If you're giving 20 to 30 people rides a day, depending on where you live, that's a lot of people to get in contact with and to have these conversations with. So about a year ago, I had started a social media marketing company, and basically all that really was advertisement, is the easiest way to say it, right? So what I started doing was I started leveraging the ability that I have all these people in my car, and rather than just having very normal conversations with them, I was like, you know what? These could all be potential clients for my business, all right? So what I started doing is I started really carefully picking how I talked to people in my car. And I was kind of setting them up, asking questions to get them to eventually ask me what I do. Now, for what I do, I can really only work with small businesses or independent contractors, like realtors, for example. A lot of business models like that need advertisements. So it's not like every single person was just a 10 out of 10 what I was looking for, and I'm working with them now. But there was a good amount of business owners that I was giving rides to, I noticed. So I just tried basically prospecting and pitching to people while they were in my car, but I tried doing it really naturally. So I wanted to run you guys through some of this because I was able to add immense value to my business, numerous clients to what I do. And I did it all through Uber and Lyft. I didn't do any cold emailing. I didn't do any cold calling, any of the stuff that a lot of people normally will do to get clients for their business. I didn't have to do because I was having such a good success rate with people that got in my car. So what I wanted to do with this video is I wanted to run you guys through this a little bit, because what I believe is that anybody could be making a really good salary if you have a sales job, your own business. But if you're doing Uber and Lyft, you've got to find a way to market yourself or your craft or your business to your passengers, because like I said, it's a rare opportunity. If you saw any of these people that you pick up on a daily basis at like a bus stop, for instance, odds are you're not going to have a conversation with them, and even higher odds are they're not going to give a rat's ass about your product, your business, whatever you're doing. But there's something really unique that happens where, as an Uber and a Lyft driver, when you pick someone up, there's automatically this trust level that's just kind of there, like way more than any other scenario you're really going to find in life. So the main point of this video is I want to stress to you guys that you need to be leveraging these opportunities, because I wasn't for a long time and I regret it, because now I've seen the power in it. So let me give you guys kind of what a lot of my rides look like that I prospect for. And I'm going to give you an example of a lady who I signed on to my business as a client just last week during Uber and Lyft. I usually can get, if I'm working like 30 to 40 hours in Uber and Lyft, I can usually get 1 to 3 people in a week to be added on as a client in my business. And for me, I only need 1 to 3 a week. Like that's good money. That's a 6-figure income, an amazing salary. So what this usually looks like, so I had a lady last week, she gets in my car, right? I picked her up at the airport. It was roughly like a 15 to 20 minute ride. So a good enough amount of time to, make a decent conversation with her, but I had to be snappy about it. We didn't have like a 45-minute leisurely ride to really go into what I do. So what I'm doing first is I'm asking qualifying questions to try and get them talk about what they do so that I can see, okay, can I add some value to their business? Can they add some value to mine? Like, would we work well together? And the only thing I'm really looking for there is their business model or what they do. So we start talking to her. I always ask first, how's your day going? Because if they're just like, I'm probably just going to be like, you know what? Not going to mess with you, So I asked how she's doing. Good. She just flew in. She's going to her friend's birthday party and her husband's picking her up from there. And then they're going to go home from there. And so then she said, yeah, and I've got a showing tomorrow, so I'm going to prepare for that. So right away I was like, okay, she's a real estate agent. Perfect. That's one of like the top types of candidates I look for. For what I do, it works really, really well with real estate agents. So I asked her how her business was going, and this was the craziest part. She was like, well, I'm actually looking to expand, and I need to do some advertising. I run a few social media campaigns, but I need to take things up a bit. So I'm thinking like, wow, this is like falling in my lap, right? Everything that I'm looking for. And so I then started talking to her, and I told her about what I did. I pitched my business plan to her. I ran the whole thing through her in about 10 minutes. What I did, and I say this a lot, is I was like, hey, I really believe that we were supposed to meet today because I want to add some value to your business, and I want to increase your organic growth and your inbound leads that are coming in. And she was right there with me. She was like, oh my gosh, I so agree. Like, I was just like praying that I would meet the right person who knew how to do this stuff. And I kid you not, guys, like that is like verbatim the conversation I had with her. So I got her contact information, followed up with her the next day, and I started her on, I run 1 week trials, just a risk-free scenario for a business to see the type of growth they could get. And after the trial, she signed on as a monthly client. And my monthly clients, I mean, they give me, I get a decent little check from them each month. So I signed her on as like a monthly reoccurring customer. And I'm doing that with all these Uber and Lyft people. Like I said, on average, 1 to 3 people a week I'm signing onto my business. And as long as I'm providing a good service for them, I will have them for a good amount of time. So what are some other ways you could translate? Like, obviously that's my business. I do advertisement. I do lead generation for small businesses and business owners and independent contractors if they need it. But I wanted to tell you guys, like, there's so many other ways this could work. I had a job I used to do right out of Uber and Lyft as well, a sales job. And I got numerous prospects, from just doing Uber and Lyft rides. Now that was a little bit harder because that was more of I'm literally selling a product, and a lot, sales is tough. It's very, very tough. So I did get a pretty good amount of sales though from Uber and Lyft doing this. So if you're in sales, you should 110% consider Uber and Lyft as a form of networking and as a form of prospecting, because it is very easy to naturally open up that conversation to where when they talk to you, they don't even feel like they pitched it to you. They feel like you kind of are giving them something that they need, right? And so how I do this with my business is, like I said, I'm asking a lot of questions. Once I find out what they do, oh, how's business going for you? And then I might, kind of BS something and be like, oh, so that's probably your ideal type of customer. And then once I've really prospected them with questions, then I'm going in with kind of my finishing statement. And I always say something like, Judy, so-and-so, whoever their name is, I just think it's so destined that I was your driver today. I was just thinking how I could take on another business myself, and then you come along and you actually need advertisement. You actually need growth. So I get them to talk about the things that they need in their business, and then I'm the solution sitting right here in the driver's seat. So how did I do this before in sales too? Well, in sales, what I did was I sold a demand controller, it was called, and it's a really popular device in Phoenix and in the really, really hot states. And it just moderates people's energy usage, and it keeps the energy bills down like $1 to $150 a month, give or take. So in Phoenix, that was a pretty easy one too, because I'd pick people up and right away I'm like, man, hot as hell out there, right? And then I'm slowly transitioning that into, you know, somehow tying it in with why their utility bills are so high. And then, you know, and then usually by then they ask what I do, and I'll be like, well, you know, actually funny you asked. Now, what I've noticed is that if you wait for them to ask what you do, then it kind of looks like you had it planned all along, because you got to think how it looks like from their point of view. You ask all these questions about what they do, and then you're just sitting there waiting for them to ask what you do. You know, it looks like you're totally baiting them in. So what I try to do more often than not is after I've asked them a ton of questions, I try to then follow up, and just right away I'm like, wow, that's so funny that you say you need all that, because I coincidentally do that. And I'm telling you guys, it is just a no-brainer. It works really, really well. I really believe you can add 1 to 3 customers or clients to your business a week. You know, I mean, I think even if you did something like you owned your own massage parlor, or maybe you did massages right out of your home, I think coming and having like coupons or something, you're gonna add a ton of value to my business. The main way I get it is I do 1 week free trials. I run all their lead generation campaigns for a week, and then what happens after a week? Well, I brought them 5 to 10 new customers. Now they're interested. So be prepared. Have a coupon, a promotion, a free trial, something to where it's a little more risk-free and they can trust the Uber driver who's pitching them a service or a product. So you gotta be able to meet them halfway. Like I said, a trial is very, very powerful. It works like a charm for me. So doing these, what I've been able to do is build a 6-figure business model. And it's funny, you'd think I wouldn't even want to Uber and Lyft anymore, but the thing is, I actually prefer this over cold calling, cold emailing, door knocking, whatever, you know, you traditionally do to get clients. I would much rather do this. I really would. Because like I said, that trust level is there right away. I'm making a little bit of money on the side, so, you know, whatever. It's nothing compared to what I make from the clients. But again, if that's how I'm getting them, that's how I'm getting them. So what I think is that if you're a new business owner, a new sales job, any type of thing along those lines, rather than, you know, having to get those first few clients, a lot of times that's the hardest part, from your cold emails, your cold calls, etc. Like I already said, just hop in your car and do some Uber and Lyft. You're gonna have really raw, organic conversations. People are gonna love that. They already know you live in their city, so they're like, okay, this is a local guy, someone that isn't emailing me from 10 states away, and then I'm wondering how legit they are. It's just easier for them to trust you and to buy into what you do if you do things this way. So that's what I got for you guys today, how you can build a 6-figure business or add 1 to 3 sales or clients per week driving Uber and Lyft. However you want to apply it, I know this can help. I know it works because I do it. This is like a high ticket, very, very high ticket way to build your business. Keep killing it out there, guys. Like I said, have a hustle, have a business, have a main thing that's going to get you even more money than driving for Uber and Lyft. And that is the best way to utilize these ride sharing platforms. See you later, guys.